Hi, good afternoon. My name is Cassandra Trevino, and today we are having our last discussion based on the 2020 vice presidential debate with Kamala Harris and current Vice President Mike Pence. And this debate is actually the only one that we will see it as a reflection of either party. And the topics that came across, starting off with coronavirus, is one of those hot topics that we continuously have going on. And it went as far as the relationship with China, the abortion, climate change, how these people, Harris and Pence, how they feel about their position of leadership if they were to be the vice president again or future vice president. And again, also about the state of the economy, which is a main factor as to how Americans perceive how these the future president or current president will handle this. And also with, like I said, healthcare and all these factors that came about, including the factor of the health and well-being of Trump, as he did contract COVID days after his debate, and the health and well-being of Biden, because if he were to be elected, he would be the oldest president that we would have. So these topics were well for this debate, and I think that Pence spoke well for the most part, and so did Harris. However, they both, for the most part, would go past their 2-minute mark, and I think that at some point after answering some of these questions in the beginning, it ended up becoming more of a target on each other, an attack on each other, and I feel that it was started more towards Pence saying things about Harris and that she, would not know these situations or how to handle it because she's only done so much. And then, of course, Harris finds things to target Pence about, especially about the climate change and how he and Trump don't go with what the scientists say, and just everything else just coming back around in a way to target each other. And so overall, though, I saw Harris, that she spoke, of course, just like Biden, more to the camera, directly to the Americans, trying to speak to them, it seemed truthfully, compared to Pence, that just like Trump, they would use the exaggeration of the millions and billions again, that they have done so much more than ever before in so many years, and from the World War II and on, and again, that type of exaggeration or description that was just a bit much. And so even though they're both at one point or for a good amount attacking each other, I think that even though they still at times couldn't answer the direct question that the moderator asked, and they were just instead targeting each other, I felt that it still hurt both parties either way, because we couldn't really get a straight answer. We thought that we would hear something from either side, and then it would come back to Pence wanting to use his time to come back and target and attack Harris. And so I felt that their time at times wasn't used well. But there were moments where Harris would basically, ask for respect in a way, have her time to speak, and felt that she had her place and her time to do so, and she didn't want to be interrupted. So I think that helped her in a way that she seemed a bit more professional, a little bit more, well-mannered for the most part. So that's how I feel. I think that either way, it hurt them in the sense of being able to hear their side, their viewpoint of plans and proposals and how they feel about the relationship with China and abortion. It just seemed to kind of go around that at times. So we didn't really get to, I think, we didn't really get to see how true that would, how they would feel about those topics. And the moderator, I think, did well in presenting them. She definitely tried to control the 2-minute situation that they were supposed to follow through with, which didn't occur quite often. I'm not sure if she should have maybe been a little bit more, not aggressive, but a little bit more stern in her way of perhaps trying to stop them from talking. But it wasn't as much as a brawl or like a yell out kind of thing, such as a presidential debate. So it was different. It was a little bit more of a less high-tempered type of situation, but I think she should have kind of had a little bit more control if possible. And I think that the questions brought up, you could say, is part of an agenda with the news media, because again, they're feeding us these topics in general, and we see across all networks, again, how Trump is doing, his health. That came up in the debate, and also again the virus, how Trump keeps attacking China. So then they want to know, what do they think about the relationship with China? Abortion has come about as well. The idea of the protest, the racism. We see this a lot in the news. So I feel that these questions were part of the continued agenda, because we also want to see how the vice president or future vice president were to feel in comparison to the current president or future vice president. So we do want to see if their viewpoints match. Are they on the same page, basically? And as much as we, I think, tried to see that, it didn't work as well. Again, because they tried to go back and give their last word, their last say, or covering themselves up based on whatever the other person was saying about them. So overall, I think it still was a bit of an agenda, because these topics are brought up in the news in general, and that's what we want to know. That's what's going to be newsworthy and worth it enough to watch this debate, because they're keeping the same topics going. So I feel overall it's a good debate, but it wasn't as effective to be able to hear what they truly had to say, what their viewpoints were, and really what would they do for us as taking on that leadership role with whichever president were to become. So thank you for watching my video, and I can't wait to see the rest of yours. Thank you.